I'm in Queen Square, London, at the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery. This is a place where brains come to be explored. And today, I've been invited to witness some pioneering surgery, using sound waves to identify foreign bodies buried deep within the brain. It's an odd case. The patient is a young woman who in her mid-20s started exhibiting strange behavioral traits. Unprompted, she would blurt out innuendo and rude jokes, or sing lines from bawdy songs. Even stranger, these lyrics were often over 100 years old from the music hall, a period and art form for which the patient holds neither knowledge nor interest. This rare condition is known as Tourette's vaudevillia, but little is understood of its inherent pathology. Conventional imaging of the patient has revealed nothing. So today, surgeons will use advanced sonar devices to journey far into her brain. They hope to identify what sort of growth is causing this behavior. I'm watching the operation from behind a glass screen. Audio from the Sonar Explorer is relayed here to a keen audience of neurologists, psychiatrists, and music hall academics. That sound you hear now is the device going through the meninges, the lining of the brain. Now it's inside the brain, starting its sonic search for disruptive elements. It's found something. It's moving towards the olfactory groove. An unlikely destination. But no, it's gone past the groove, and past the hypothalamus, and it's heading, yes, as we thought, it's heading towards the cerebellum. Yes, it seems to have located something, and that something is emitting a sonic frequency of its own. The surgeon is now raising the volume so we can hear this alien sound, the sound that's been driving this woman to emit such verbal drivel. It's a repeated throb, a consecutive hum. It sounds like, I hesitate to say. That's ridiculous. Let's listen more closely. Oh my goodness, I think it is. It's the Big Muddler. It's a variety show in your ear. Welcome back. Your table awaits you. Now, would you like to hear our specials? Or shall we let the chef surprise you? There's always something tasty at the Big Muddler. This is Radio 4, and now the shitting forecast issued at 2300 for the week ahead. General synopsis. There are warnings of strong wind and unsettled conditions throughout the period. Monday 08:37 hours. Generally soft, with dry patches. Moderate. Tuesday 07:57, squally. Chance of floaters veering southerly. Moderate or firm. Wednesday 0720, 0757, 0834 and 0912, rough, increasing severe, violent showers, by 0947 becoming firm, good. Thursday, 1156, calm, backing up, poor. Friday, 0614, gusty, turning high, occasionally rank, with some inflammation of inshore waters, firm. Saturday, 0957, risk of patchy drizzle, rough passage, imminent period, high pressure, soft. Sunday, 0912, variable movements, squally, becoming cyclonic, wet patches. That is the end of the forecast issued this morning by the Shit Office. They're old, they're creaky, they need some love, so tell them every day those listed jokes. Right then, conjunctivitis.com. Now that's a sight for sore eyes. So the doctor says to this patient, he says, I'm afraid you're going to have to stop masturbating. Why, said the patient. Well, I need to examine you. Where's my cousin Pete? He came up to me the other day, he said, Matthew, you will not guess what's happened to me. I am so lucky. I said, all right, what happened? He said, you will not believe it. I am going out with twins. Yes, he says. Every man's dream. Imagine what a lot of cuddling that is. I said, all right, sounds incredible. But one question. How do you tell them apart? He said, I've got a foolproof method. Now, you see, Natalie, she's a bit of a moaner. Whereas Nigel smokes a pipe. I'm using a lot of old material. But looking at the people in front of me, it looks like I'm not the only one. They're old, they're creaky, they need some love, so tell them every day those listed jokes. Welcome back to our country. As you have no doubt learned, there will be an election in the spring. Our people are fortunately unversed and somewhat naive in the ways of democracy. There will be observers from the UN. They will be given full access to the facilities to which they are taken, and they may interview whomsoever they wish at those facilities to which they are taken. Of course, the British Guardian and New York Times will make an appearance. We have already planned their visit and the revelations they will make. The election results will be announced 18 hours after the polls close. Would you like to see the results now? I presume so. As you will note, we have selected a figure of 83% support for the president. In the past, this figure seldom dropped below 98%, which is what our people are used to. You must remember, change is a gradual process. Or indeed, the appearance of change is a gradual process. You may wonder why we have brought you back now. We were happy with your work earlier in the year, and you were no doubt happy with the compensation we arranged. But we have a situation now in which your specific expertise may prove useful.
There is a group of environmental activists operating in the east of the country. We can obviously deal with the security issues and eliminate the main individuals involved, but this group has proved curiously adept in the digital sphere, and I must admit, we are finding it difficult to contain the spread of damaging information. Do you have any preliminary ideas?
First, may I say how delighted we are to be back in your warm and flexible country. My family has been operating here for several generations now. It's a place we find much more congenial for doing business than our supposed home country. But our links with Blighty prove useful. It's ironic that in a society where so much indulgence is extended to young people, the more creative of those young people, once turned, can prove fertile for our ends. Poachers turned gamekeepers, you might say. Here's the plan. We would bring in a group of these young experts, disguised, of course, as management consultants, and we'd base them in a strategic command center. In broad brush, there would be 3 elements to our campaign. First comes detailed behavioral analysis. This is unique, scientific, and now driven almost entirely by AI. We can understand how people behave better than they do. Second comes targeting, both of messages and audiences. One of our best operatives came from the National Theatre. We pay better. And thirdly, of course, comes the public opinion modification itself, our magic bullet. As always, AI is central to our offering. We've developed some large language models that focus on intentionality. We know what people want, whether they realize it or not. As before, our protocols forbid you from making public our work with you. And fees. Here's the preliminary figure. It may seem high, but between us, it's actually less than our Russian colleagues have spent trying to procure our technology. And by paying this reasonable price, we can ensure it works for you.
I detect an element of threat in your latter remark.
Oh, we're not the mafia. All good chums here. As I said, my family has operated in this country for many years, with whomsoever holds power.
Am I to understand you are speaking with our rivals in the military?
Well, shall we say, when we worked with you earlier this year, we were able to gather considerable levels of proprietary information about you and your closest supporters. I think we understand each other. So, shall we head straight on to karaoke? I fancy a bit of Rolling Stones, or maybe some Adele. Yes, the Empire is back. You know, these days you often hear podcasters reading advertisements themselves. Why is this? Well, it makes them more money. That explains the odd experience of hearing Alistair Campbell shill for an energy firm. So I can guarantee you, it's only a very high fee that permits me to share the following message with you. Also, I'd like to reassure you and my loved ones, I don't actually need the following product. Here we go. Now, where's that piece of paper? I'll just give it a read. Here we go. When it comes to personal drainage products, there's nothing like the Sure Conto Speedy Flow, with its patent triple-action no-drip guarantee. Don't think catheter, think cafe theatre and all the other entertainments you can now attend with peace of mind. Well, that's okay just about, but I'm not sure about this next bit. Thanks to our unique Smart Pea no-soil technology, emptying now becomes rapid and intelligent. What does that mean? Responding to bladder rhythm and reducing the risk of UTI. Oh, Jesus. The Speedy Flow boasts special coating technology to stay bonded and smooth, while its flexible tip ensures gentle insertion. Oh, God. I'm not sure this is worth it. Oh, Christ. Okay, well, it's almost over. Here we go. Think of the money. For a discreet, no-touch daily routine, and how exactly does that work? Choose Sure Conto Speedy Flow, your one-stop solution. You know, is solution really the best word there? Oh, there's more. Warning, you may not be able to recycle this product with other household items. Well, that's a relief, so to speak. What's happening on the beach? Let's check in with our seaside saga of shellfish rockers. They're wild, they're snappy, but they're seldom happy. They came in on the wrong tide, got washed up on the sand. They got nowhere left to hide, so they formed themselves a band. They're Great Crustaceans, Great Crustaceans. They're Great Crustaceans. It's tough getting gigs, so guitarist Ray has opened up a nightclub. That guarantees the band a place to perform and regular customers. But some of those customers are proving a problem, as is pointed out by the band's bassist and club promoter, Squid Vicious.
I told you Razors is a terrible name for a nightclub.
But it's my name.
No, your name's Ray.
But I'm a Razor clan.
So?
So we call the club Razors.
Yeah, and look what it attracts. That shoal of mullet last week.
What about them?
They started eating the shrimps. You've got to look after the staff.
Well, get more bouncers.
That means lobsters, and they're out of season. Barry's only here because he forgot to crawl south.
Can't someone else do the door?
What, like those mussels you booked?
Oh, don't remind me. Didn't see much muscle from them. Well, you'll have to find someone. I'm not changing the name.
But Ray, we're already on probation. One more incident and the beach patrol will close us down.
You worry too much.
You don't worry enough.
Hey, big man, let us in.
Yeah, Grandad Lobster. Can't you shift your legs?
No, they're too crusty. Move along, lads. You're not getting in here tonight.
What you gonna do, Santa Claus? See, Claus, eh? Hey, hey.
Oh, very funny. I've never heard that before. Everything all right, Barry? Yeah, it's fine. These mackerel are just leaving. No, we're not. Hey, Barry, don't get your tail in a twist.
You sure he's got 10 legs? I can only count 9. See, you looked.
Oh, come on. Why can't we come in? I don't need to give you a reason. What about our rights?
And our lefts.
Oh, shut it. Let's go down to Jazzers. It's more fun there.
Yes, goodbye, Barry.
I think they're getting worse. These mackerel aren't the problem. Or the mullet. It's the pollock you want to watch out for. Oh, never mind the pollocks. Oh, see what I did there? That's funny, that. They're wild. They're snappy. But they're seldom happy. They came in on the wrong tide, got washed up on the sand. They got nowhere left to hide, so they formed themselves a band. They're great crustaceans, great crustaceans. They're great crustaceans. This is Radio 4, and now the dogging forecast, issued by the Office of Parks and Recreation. General synopsis for Hampstead Heath, Knutsford Services, Watford Gap, and the car park behind Iceland. Bend over. Target 40s. Dogger carefully. Ignore German bite during St. David's Head. Shannon Fitzroy. Roy Fitzshannon. Sol. Hook up with Selsey Bill. Ease into St. George's Channel. Avoid Minch. Going firm and fruity. Avoid Faroes. There are warnings of Vikings veering towards Maidenhead. Today's gale warning, she's still testing positive. That is the end of today's dogging forecast, issued by the Shag Office.
Oh, good evening, foragers. Denzel Rumpo here. Now, let me just put down my flute. Right. I was out today cockling on the Helford. Got a good haul by the ferry boat inn. On the way back, I stopped off at Restrongit Weir to talk tides with me old pal, Skipper Morris. He likes a few tunes, too. I'll often catch him noodling away on his big fiddle. Or, as he calls it, his cello. Anyway, he was telling me a story about him and Miss Ellie, his wife, involving mistaken identity. I can't share the tale with you now, as it's a bit fruity, but it put me in mind of that old Cornish song, Lamorna. Do you know it? I learnt it from my old pal Jan North, and she got it from the Boscastle boys singing it, I think, at the old Napoleon. Jan would always preface the third verse by saying, "Warning, dodgy Cornish accent." I should probably say that every time I open my mouth, but in the words of that old Truro legend Magnus Magnusson, I've started, so I'll finish. Anyway, let's take Lamorna out for a spin. So now I'll sing to you about a maiden fair I met the other evening at the corner of the square. She had a dark and roving eye, she was a charming rover, and we rode all night through the pale moonlight away down to Lamorna. 'Twas, and we all stand on our chairs now. Everyone's on their chair. You ready? You're going to jump down when I sing down, right? Okay, here we go. 'Twas down in Albert Square, I never shall forget. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, and the evening it was wet, 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 and her hair hung down in curls. She was a charming rover, and we rode all night through the pale moonlight away down to Lamorna. Lots of R's in that Lamorna, as you might have noticed. Now, as we got in the cab, I asked her for her name, and when she gave it me, well, mine it was the same. So I lifted up her veil, for her face was covered over, and to my surprise, it was my wife I took down to Lamorna. Up on your chairs now, 'twas down in Albert Square, I never shall forget.
Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, and the evening it was wet, 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 and her hair hung down in curls. She was a charming rover, and we rode all night through the pale moonlight away down to Lamorna. She said, I knows you now. I knew you all along. I knew you in the dark, but I did it for a lark, lark, lark. And for that lark you'll pay for the taking of the donor. You'll pay the fare, for I declare, away down to Lamorna. 'Twas last time now. Back up on your chairs, everyone. Are you ready? You ready? You ready? 'Twas down in Albert Square. I never shall forget. Her eyes, they shone like diamonds, and the evening it was wet, 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 and her hair hung down in curls. She was a charming rover, and we rode all night through the pale moonlight away down to Lamorna. Ha ha! Thank you there. Good night now. And it's over and out from Denzel Rumpo. I've managed to get out of the hospital. Inside, it's mayhem. The patient woke up singing old Harry Lauder songs and trying to sand dance down the recovery room. The surgeon's in tears. Of laughter, I think, but that often happens with Tourette's vaudeville, even when the Big Muddler has got involved. It's time now to sign off from episode 4. This first series is swinging by. Only 2 more shows to go. Once again, we need to thank pianist Dorian Ford. And, well, I think that's it. Oh, except some credit must go to Matthew Crampton, who's mainly responsible for this rubbish. I'll thank him when I see him.